I want to clarify this regarding the QRD Spark N5 controller. I had zero interest in reviewing a PS4 controller. I disclosed it to QRD, and personally, I buried my PS4 the moment the PS5 entered my household. What have you made me do? Hi, I'm Clef, and you're watching gametechtalk. This is not a sponsored video, but I have been provided a review unit in exchange for this piece of content. All opinions are my own, no altering nor editing was permitted, nor could QRD request it. Strap in, this is it. But first, wait. I said I didn't want to review a PS4 controller, yet I am doing it. Why? I'll answer that question by the end of this video. Just stick with it and you'll know if you should get it too. I am surprised. I am, in a good way. I guess I never bothered trying a third-party PS4 controller, so maybe that's on me. It turned out better than I thought, but it all depends on what and how you use it. Let's start with the obvious, then the pros, the cons, and the conclusion. It has buttons, as many as you'd expect from a PS4 controller, but also with some extra ones. The back paddles, a function button called set, and a turbo button. It also includes the other DS4 features such as a speaker, a clickable trackpad, and a 3.5mm jack. It is powered by a 1200 mAh battery, which offers 20% more capacity than the original Dualshock 4, a welcomed addition. It offers wireless capabilities through Bluetooth and wired using USB-C, which have provided latency-free performance in my tests. Outside of the shape and some of its extra features, it's a PS4 controller through and through, so let that start off the pros list. It uses Hall sensor sticks and triggers. You may be tired of hearing about Hall sensors and know all about them already. I'll spare the educational spiel, but if you don't know anything about it, I strongly encourage you to ask me in the comments and I'll gladly explain. It's superb technology, and I don't believe I've seen other manufacturers with a PS4 controller using it. I could be wrong on that. It also looks lovely with RGB accents at the front, offering 9 different colors, which can easily be changed or turned off at the touch of a button. I'm pleasantly surprised with the internal speaker. It is better than the original Sony one. It's more on par with the DualSense speaker, whereas the DualShock 4 is a static mess. The 3.5mm jack also serves its purpose. However, the controller has to be recognized as a DualShock 4 for that feature to work. As per the website, it is compatible with PC, iOS, Android, and PS4. They also state PS5, but we'll get back to that. I tested all channels, and features vary based on the device it is plugged into and the method used to plug it. For iOS and PS4, it is perfectly spoofed as a DualShock 4, and because of it, it is one of the very few controllers that can successfully be used wired on the iPhone 15. The device does include a mount grip, making it one of the best use cases for this product. As for almost every other buttons, they mostly nailed it. The face button feel great, the trackpad has a nice clickable feeling, and tracking is responsive. The share and start buttons do too. The triggers are a bit stiffer, which I prefer and have impeccable readings. Also is the travel of the triggers, which QRD perfectly reproduced. The shoulder buttons have nice clickiness while not obnoxiously loud. Think of keyboard's brown switches, at least in responsiveness and sound. I tested it for 2 hours straight. I wouldn't go as far as saying the controller disappeared out of consciousness, but I can also comfortably say that I would have clocked in another 2 hours without blinking an eye. Figuratively speaking, of course, don't forget to blink. It's crucial, and it's creepy if you don't. And you know what else is creepy if you don't? All the nice things that YouTubers ask you to do, like, you know, hit that and go to the section and click that button and the other that does that little ding sound. As a starting con, though quite personal despite being much decent, I do not prefer the shape over the DualShock 4 or the DualSense. What grinds my gears though is the plastic. It's slippery, devoid of any textures or focus points. Making the entire surface lack character or straight up grippiness. Next is the D-pad, which suffers the same fate. Function-wise, it's flawless. Has a nice center pivot that doesn't sink too deep and has good shape. I'd rate it an A-. The issue lies in the feel of the plastic, which again has no contrast, no texture, and of all places, the D-pad is not one where you want to fall flat. Pun very much intended. The other buttons that came close to lending it but didn't entirely are the paddles. History repeats itself, function over form. They are great in functionality and easy to set up. Hold the key you wish to map with the set key, the one used for LEDs, then put in whatever button or macro sequence you want to record, tap it again, and the controller will vibrate, which means you're done. The feature is fantastic and easy to program on the fly. My issue is with the plastic, which is essentially a small wing pushing down a tactile switch button. When pushing down on that wing, it bends further than I'm comfortable with, and I feel like the plastic could eventually either snap in two or stay stuck in this crooked shape over time. I couldn't test this in my short time with the controller, but I don't see how having this much flex past actuating the button is a good thing. And last, the vibration, which you may have heard me say before, I am picky with my rumble and love that feature. Unfortunately, it is disappointing on this device. You can alter the vibrations between 4 modes: off, low, medium, and high. Low and medium feel identical and lackluster, noisy, no vibrations at all. I think the plastic used may be a cause, and when you set to high, you finally feel something, but it's once again very noisy, even more so, and the vibrations feel tacky and cheap. In all fairness, that is one of the most problematic aspects of any third-party controller, and I'm not even talking about HD rumble here. Dualshock 4 didn't have that feature anyway, but in comparison, well, there's no sugarcoating it. The rumble is just not good on this controller. So in conclusion, who is this controller for? Well, to answer this, we have to look at how it'll be used. If doing PC and or Android wired, it defaults as an Xbox 360 spoof controller. On one hand, you lose all the PS4 features such as the trackpad, 3.5mm jack, and speaker. On the other hand, you can hold share an option simultaneously for 3 seconds to change it from input to D-input, offering better compatibility with older titles. It's a neat feature to have on the fly, but beyond that, you may want to look elsewhere. That controller shines when using Bluetooth, as it becomes spoofed as a Dualshock 4. This means this is one of the few controllers beyond Sony's official ones that will effectively work natively with the Remote Play app on Android. When using it that way, the trackpad does work and can even be used as a mouse with certain Android devices. With that said, the speaker and 3.5mm jack do not function, but that is an Android limitation. This controller has nothing to do with that feature not being utilized. The same can be said for PC. When used with Bluetooth, Steam sees it as a Dualshock 4, so all the features you'd expect to work do work. Earlier, I mentioned PS5. Their website notes it being supported, and I can't stress this enough. This controller will not work on PS5 natively outside of navigating menus. When booting a game, the PS5 sees it as a Dualshock 4, so it'll stop you from playing PS5 games with it. Therefore, the only way to use it on PS5 is by booting PS4 titles. The one exception is when using the Remote Play app. Sony does let you use a Dualshock 4 to control your PS5 games. That would arguably be a countermeasure, but again, this is not a QRD limitation, that's a Sony thing. As for the iPhone and PS4, it shines on these two platforms. With Apple's device, this controller functions as great as the original Dualshock 4. And with the mount grip being included, that's as ready to roll as it gets. Between a backbone one at 100 plus tax and this controller at $59, $49 for the controller and $10 for shipping, it is not a bargain, but it's also way better than just half a backbone one or a Dualshock 4. It offers more functionalities, the features are overall quite good. I just wish personally that they'd use a different type of plastic. One thing to point out, the mount is excellent to play sitting down, but it won't hold if you lay on your back. The mechanism is not strong enough for that. So why did I dug out my PS4? It performed so well when doing what it was designed for that I needed to experience the peak performance of this device. Outside of Rumble, it did great, and I'd pick that over a DS4 if I was still playing my PS4. With the PS4 out of the collective mind, getting a secondhand Dualshock 4 to open up, clean, and customize could net you a deal and make for a fun little project. But if Rumble is for you an afterthought and you want a controller that will not drift for the next decade, offer you extra features, and is overall a superior controller with multi-platform support, then it is a no-brainer. I'll leave the link below. Until then, tech hard, game harder. My fellow gamers, peace!